Hi guys, this is Mark, former judge of multiple seasons of Next Top Singer, and we're going to be reacting to the next episode, episode 7. So the episodes, after a big gap of a couple of weeks, are now starting to come thick and fast again. So right after this, we've got the deliberation for the top performance. We've got a couple of round 2 episodes with the entries. There's going to be 6 of those, it turns out. So we might do those in a couple of batches. What I'm thinking is that going forward with this, I'm going to watch those episodes back and I'll follow my usual process that I would have done if I was judging. So I'll listen to things a couple of times. I'll make some notes. I might go back, tweak a few things as we go. So I can give you more of a run through of the process. And then we can write those notes up. I'll put some comments on the sheet so we can refer back to them. And then when the deliberation and the voting comes out, we can chip in a little bit more. I think that'll be interesting. It'll be a little different to these reactions in that I never made any decisions off of one listen. It might be 2 or 3 for these very early rounds. It might get up to 7 or 8 when we get into the later stages, and we'll probably meet somewhere in the middle. But my feedback will probably be a little more detailed with that. And then once we've got them written out, instead of it being sort of on the spot, we can compare back to what the judges say. And I just think it'll be a more interesting experience and a good way to break it up. And depending on how long the first one goes, maybe we'll fit a couple in per episode. I don't know. Lots of variables, lots of things up in the air. I'm going away on holiday very soon for a best part of 3 weeks, which isn't going to help at all as far as keeping up with times. And then after that, there's a move and a house buy and a whole load of stuff going on. So I may, a bit like the series, fall behind a little bit, but we shall see. Now, this is a longer episode, about 40 minutes, which means I might stop it a little less. I might react a little less, but we'll see.
Hi again, and welcome to Next Top Singer. This is the last casting episode. Soon, the judges will deliberate and decide who will win this round's best performance. So don't miss that as well. But for now, let's continue.
Well, I was walking down the street when out of the corner of my eye saw a pretty little thing approaching me. She said, I'd never seen a man who looked so all alone, and could you use a little company? If you pay the right price, your evening will be nice and you can go and send me on my way. I said, you're such a sweet young thing, well, why you do this to yourself? She looked at me and this is what she said: no, there ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed. There ain't nothing in this world for free. No, I can't slow down, I can't hold back, though you know I wish I could. No, there ain't no rest for the wicked until we close our eyes for good.
Who wants to go?
Okay, nice. So the old scoring sheet's back up. We're going to populate these with some notes when we get down to the later stages. We'll have different tabs. And the sheet's available in the Twitch and in the YouTube comments if you want to go and check it out as we move on. So this one for me is going to be a yes. That is going to be... I mentioned it pretty much every time, but when there's a big gap, you kind of lose your pointer's perspective on it. So yes for me, and a 5.5. This is one of those rare examples where there is so much stuff in terms of like how tight the phrases are, and often I call that out as a problem and something that people struggle with. This is one of those rare examples where it doesn't trip this guy up, and considering the problems I've seen in previous seasons, I give him a lot of props for that. It does still limit you a little bit in that you can't show vibrato necessarily, you can't show how well you can sustain a note with that, which makes it a little bit of a limiting performance, but there is some good power in there. There is there's clearly some performance elements to it as well. I like it. It doesn't jump off the page as much as some of the others that I've scored higher, but with those, there were multiple vocal lines and the like in there as well, which did add something. Also, it's another song that I don't recognise, and when that happens, I would normally listen to the original. So we can listen to the original and we can compare a little bit. I'll work that into the round 2 stuff. But Let's go for the judges.
Go first.
Not Angelina, you're always first, so it's someone else's turn.
I would go first. I will go first. Soundbox. I don't really have that much comment actually. You have nice rock quality in the voice, and I appreciate the confidence. And you had good pitch control, power, and range. But the only thing that I have to say is like it could definitely use some more dynamic. So, yeah, a 7.5 and a yes.
Yeah, good growls, nice pitch, decent dynamics, some nice transitions up and down the notes. You kind of slip into a more talky sound at times, but that's a nitpick from me. You got some good vocal control, good breath. Yeah, pretty good overall.
Nice energy, but it sounded like you were rushing a little bit. Your tone changes when you growl, like it kind of like dips down and you sound like I'm not sure if that was intentional, but it did sound like kind of inconsistent, because like your normal voice would be up here and then you'd growl and you'd be like down here. You have a different key than the original, and I'm not sure if that was, I mean, you probably chose to do that. I think this key does sound good on your voice. I think it was a nice interpretation of the song, and I thought your diction was good.
And I know this much is true, baby. You have become my addiction. I'm so strung out on you, can barely move, but I like it. And it's all because of you. And it's all because of you. It's all because of you. And it's all because never get enough. She's the sweetest drug.
This one was one of...
Okay, this is going to be a soft yes for me, which is going to land it round about. So already trying to think about this. There's a big difference here. So let's bump Soundbox up to a 6, which makes a 4 a soft yes for me. So there are some bits in there that I like, but there are several issues as well. The timing is thrown off at points. I don't think there is enough breath support, particularly in the runs. So the runs were something that I had a bit of an issue with. They are generally off pitch and are not that well supported. So breath support, runs, and pitch. So if you're talking about the things that you would want, so if you're talking about a technique thing, if you're talking about being on pitch, and if you're talking about being in time, the Holy Trinity, really. This doesn't have any of those. And if you're trying to correct all of those things in time for round 2, when things really start to ramp up, that's a difficult one, and I think is maybe a little bit too much to ask. But there is some nice tone in there. I think one part of the sustain, that's cool. I like that. I didn't know that was a thing. But anyway, yeah. I think one of the sustains was on pitch and had a nice tone to it. So there's potential, but maybe a little too much work to do to go much past this round. We'll see, though. Let's see if the judges are on board with me on that.
One of the nicer auditions, or like this was one of my...
Yeah, okay, I'm glad, because these are the ones I'm talking about. Might as well, bro. That shit was tough.
And he's a returner.
Demon. Yeah,
Oh, I just remember this man having runs, and that shit was so clean. Oh
yeah,
my
that's
God.
his
Control was nice pitch. At 012 specifically, your voice kind of wibble wobbled a bit, but you know that can be fixed later on. So might be nervousness, whatever else. Good dynamics. Just that's something. Just yes. Thank you.
Okay, so Demonte Levant, you have nice round tone and quite agile riffs and runs, and you have like your own brand stylistic technique of singing, and this has good audio quality. But the thing that I only give you a 7 for is like your vibrato felt very underdeveloped. It's like slow, like it's like that. So like it's quite apparent at the ending note as well. And this has breathiness, might be stylistic in places where it'd be better to not take a breath in between lines. And this is a little bit short, it's like 42 seconds long, and the song didn't really go anywhere other than the riffs and runs, and because of that, it felt very safe, and that's why I give you a 7 and a yes.
Nice voice, nice emotion. I said the riffs were slightly unclear in the beginning, but they're mostly good. I just wish there was a bit more energy. I feel like you do kind of stay around the same like dynamic, like Huni said.
And I feel so bad for him for last time he was so robbed. So I hope this time goes better.
Why did he get robbed last time?
You should go and listen to him on Spotify. He has great music, actually.
Why was he robbed last time? What happened? Is it just autotune or what?
Yeah, he was accused of using autotune and faking the whistle notes, but it turned out he could actually do that. So,
how would you even fake whistle notes?
I don't know.
You can't really fake a whistle.
You're just like, and then you.
Or I guess it wasn't specifically like you're faking the whistle notes, but like the fact that he
it's because Scott doubted the whistle note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I only had 1 star, and I had to choose Valentine. So.
Wait, who's Scott?
Scott is
the guest judge.
Was the guest judge that round? He's the winner of season 7.
Well.
Anyway, let's move on. Welcome back, Demonte.
Just out of interest. So 550. They were very kind on that. Have I just missed? So I'm thinking not enough breath support, a few issues with timing, issues with pitch, especially on the runs.
Ooh, baby, you have become my addiction. I'm so strung out on you, can barely move, but I like it, and it's all because of you. And it's all because of you. It's all because of you. And it's all because never get enough. She's the sweetest drug.
This one was one of the...
Yeah, okay. So parts of that are sharp, parts of the runs fall flat. It feels like in a few of the notes towards the end of that audition, he kind of gets choked up in the... Yeah, I think they're giving him a little bit of a free pass on that one. Still a yes, though.
But if by chance you're here alone, can I have a moment before I go? 'Cause I've been by myself all night long, hoping you're someone I used to know. You look like a movie, you sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light, in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song.
J.
Okay. So this for me is going to be a yes and another 4. I put this in a similar kind of level. So the first part was basically talking. There's not much you can get from that. I felt like it improved throughout the entry. So there was definitely some warmth that was starting to come into it, and then towards the bigger parts, that was able to come out a lot more. The song possibly didn't suit his range all that well. He's trying to play around with the phrasing a little bit. That feels... I understand, and sometimes doing that works, but it feels a little clumsy in this, almost like he's missing his cues and just kind of rolling with it. And I think I'd have to listen back to it again, but I think there's a few issues of notes starting to fall off at the end of runs again as well. So some potential. I think, so with the issues that DeMonte was having, I feel like JA maybe has less issues that he has to deal with, and maybe just selecting the right song will allow him to be able to fix that, but maybe has a lower ceiling out of the two. But I feel like they're quite evenly pitched. Let's see if the judges agree with me.
I'm just gonna say that. I feel like you could have picked a better song, or like a different song. I feel like this song doesn't really show off your voice as much as another one might. Just mainly because it's like, I mean, the original is like for feminine vocals. You sound like you didn't warm up, and you were pitchy on certain parts. It might have to do with, I'm not sure if you didn't warm up, but it sounds like your voice is like still like morning voice, kind of. Your energy was good and your emotion was okay, so I gave you a 5 and a yes.
So your pitch was good. It was your control was nice. Not really any dynamic contrast or anything. My thing is, when I was listening to the song, I immediately picked up on this little scratch in the back of your throat because I know exactly what that is, because that sounds like whenever I'm sick and then I just woke up. So I think Angelina was right in saying that you didn't warm up, so it made it sound really choked and very stuffy. It just never really sounded good, and it kind of just deterred me from the rest of the performance. And then the lower notes were good, but they weren't anything super extraordinary, but that's a trading thing. So I think for me, it was just too average for me to say yes, but I can't really berate you too much. So I'll give you a 5 and a very soft no.
I give this a 5 and a soft, very soft yes, because this has good audio quality for the most part. And I think the morning voice is this comment right here. It has raspy vocal quality, and I'm not sure if it's healthy or not. It showed potential to have good dynamic control and emotional delivery, and I appreciate the hard song choice. There's either volume peaking issues or you were going back and forth from the mic. So like you're doing this and then doing this. Like I don't know what happened there. And there are pitchiness in places and borderline straining as well in parts.
And I hear all the voices saying, turn back, there's nothing here for you. A smile on their face. In the distance the bells are ringing, calling out an old familiar tune. Prepare to embrace where the light goes tonight. In the distance you will find paradise, paradise, waiting for those who sacrificed.
Oh my god, yo, my depression.
Okay, this for me is going to be a yes, and it's going to be... I gave a 7.5, didn't I? I gave a 7.5. That was my top performance of the lot. First time I've ever given a 7.5 in a casting round, I think that one was as well. This for me is going to be a 7. Brave choice to send in an original for a number of reasons. 1, to put yourself out there, and 2, to do it in a singing competition. The singing competition thing is what I want to kind of highlight because that's the most relevant. And this isn't necessarily the case with this. It's hard to tell because you've only got a minute, so we're only getting a snapshot. The thing that I notice with a lot of songwriters is they just don't have a catchy enough chorus. Like, they may have talent, they may have written some nice lyrics, and they've put together a nice melody and that sort of thing. It could be, like, there could be nothing wrong with it, but because it's not got that catchy chorus, it hasn't got that hook that is going to ever take that song to be mainstream. You're not going to catch a wave of anything, and that makes it a little difficult from a competition standpoint sometimes, in that it may not have that memorable moment in there that sticks in your mind and makes you want to sing it over and over and over again. with this, it's hard to tell because we've only heard a minute of it. Now, what I would like to say is if I could get hold of this from a production standpoint and could have a go at mixing all this stuff together in a different way, that would be something I would enjoy as a project, because this has so much potential. It's difficult in a way to judge it from a singing perspective because there's so much stuff going on and it's all turned up so high in the mix that there isn't really a lead line that you can pick up on. It's all just smashing you at once. From what I'm hearing, I like it a lot. There are some times when I think it's a phrasing decision where I'd make some slightly different phrasing decisions as well. We haven't got a basis of comparison because it's original. And that's something that I think about a little bit. So I like it and have sort of consistently, I think, over the seasons, liked it when contestants have taken a song and tried to put their own spin on it. But by the same token, when it's done in a way which is clumsy and doesn't necessarily fit with the song, I've then picked up on it and raised an issue with that in terms of there's a difference between trying it and executing it. Again, we haven't got that comparison here. I'm going to go back. I know I was saying I want to try and do this quickly, but I'm going to go back one more time and just see if I can avoid being distracted.
Turn back, there's nothing here for you. A smile on their face. In the distance, the bells are ringing, calling out an old familiar tune. Prepare to embrace where the light goes tonight. In the distance, you will find paradise, paradise, waiting for those who sacrificed.
Oh my god!
Okay, so listening back to it a second time, I tried to focus on the lead line and listen to it second time around. There is a pronounced lead line, but it does get washed over at points when certain things maybe need to be turned down in the mix. So I enjoy this one a lot. There's a kind of vocal fry moment in there as well, which is a nice touch and felt like it was well controlled rather than like a straining issue. And from what you can tell with the harmonies in there as well, there's clearly some range from this guy. So this has potential. Like I say, I would love to be able to take this from a production standpoint and just tweak this a little bit. So I'd be looking to dial back some of the extra parts, maybe a little left-right panning, that sort of thing, just so that everything has its own space. I feel like at times it doesn't, and then the thing we want to be focusing on the lead line is, I say, getting washed over. There's other stuff sort of coming in and out of that space, which makes it a little tough. But this is an interesting one. I like this a lot.
Yo, my depression for this song. Oh,
I thought you were going to say
days.
you hate this.
No, it gives me high tier depression in the best way possible, and I need to explain it. I need to get my notes. I need to get my notes.
Okay,
Hold on,
go
man.
first.
Go
then.
ahead. You go.
Excuse me? It gives me depression in the best... What? Okay, looking forward to this.
First, I'll go.
Let me find it, because Jesus Christ. Oh my. Holy shit. Okay, so, Rectorius, my boy. You made me so depressed in the worst ways possible, but not because your singing is bad, because you're a good singer with a bad audition, and I think that's the first time I've ever had to say that in this entire competition, my boy.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, let me calm down. Let me breathe. Let me tell you what was happening with this song and why I gave you a very soft yes for now. Okay? Firstly, why did we record this in the back rooms? I swear to God. Like, the reverb on this was atrocious in the sense that I see what you were going for with the kind of choir effect, that ethereal effect, because Elysium, Afterlife, Shakespeare, I get you. But you did a bit too much. See, the background vocals, like the bass, the baritone, that should have kept some reverb. Fine with that. I would have had zero issue because it might have worked with the song. And then everything else should have not had reverb or very little. Because everything had the same reverb, it sounded like you were just recording in a basement and the sound was bouncing off every single surface. And it made it incredibly muddy to listen to. The only thing, and I mean the only thing that saved you is the fact that your harmonies were good enough for me to actually hear your voice. And that was the one thing that saved this performance for me, because otherwise you overwhelm my senses to a degree where it's just like, what am I even listening to? Like, it's just, oh my God. Because I would unironically listen to this song if the reverb was not this atrocious. It genuinely pains me, bro. So this is more of a mixing thing. So the next time you do this, ask someone to help you with the mixing, because, dude, you have something there. I can see what you were trying to do with the organization of everything in the song, including the layers. I will say, though, might want to cut back 2 or so layers for this song, because I don't think it needs that heavy of a choir. But otherwise, bro, you're a good singer with a really bad audition. Next time, keep the reverb to a minimum. Holy shit. Okay.
You know what's sad? He actually did submit a version without reverb and less mixing. But he chose this one to be judged. You have to have one audition to be judged. So
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would he do that?
You fumbled the bag, my boy.
Oh dear.
Okay. You know what? I'll go next.
you
Okay, so
chose
Victorious.
poorly.
Can we listen to that after the session? I want to hear what it sounded like without the reverb.
Yeah, honestly, give me that. I need to see it though.
Yeah, you should already have it
sorry.
in send entry. So
Okay, so Victorious, welcome back. You have good audio quality, and I appreciate the overall arrangement. And you have wide vocal range for a bass or a baritone at most, and you show potential to have dynamic control and gorgeous vocal tone. But since this is an original, I don't really have reference to really base it from. But there were too many layers of harmonies, doubles, and octaves, so everything in one place, which is no problem on its own, but it's accompanied with too much reverb. And because of how many layers there are, and sadly those layers are very much not clean, they're really make the song so muddy to the point where I can't really single out some notes. And there were pitchiness present in places, and higher notes felt a little bit squeezed out. And so if you were to do layers, make sure they are 1, clean, 2, in sync with the main melody. So you need to start and end at the same time, and you need to say the words exactly as it is, as the main melody. And 3, smaller in volume to let the main melody shine instead, because I felt like the layers are almost at the same volume as the main melody, and it drowned them instead. So polish up some more and utilize the mentors for help, please. I give this a 5.5, and yes, I almost say it a no, but it made me sad.
Yeah, no, same. I almost gave this a no too, because my original answer for this was just no, because it's a good singer with a bad audition. But after hearing it a bunch more times, I think it's just a mixing thing. I'll give him a chance.
It's
Yeah.
like bad decisions.
With mine, I had like really similar notes. I said the harmonies in the beginning are slightly discordant and also muddy. There's too much going on with lack of clarity. I said it was a little nicer in the second half, a little more on pitch. I do think your harmonies were a little bit pitchy as well as the like insane layering. I mainly enjoyed the parts where you like actually didn't have harmony or like didn't have as much, and that should never be the case. People should be like, damn, those harmonies were good, not, oh, finally, the melody. Like, there was definitely too much going on. Your mains are supposed to shine through, like Huni said. But I gave you a 6.5 NES because I thought your emotion was good and you had a nice voice. And another comment I had was, I thought your diction could have been a little bit better. I couldn't really tell what you're saying for some of the words.
I think
was
it's
so
I think
muddy.
it's his, it was so
Matthew said in
muddy.
episode 5.
So muddy.
It was
It was so muddy.
Leviosa. I just edited that episode yesterday, so.
Yeah. So Leviosa.
If I could begin to be half of what you think of me. I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love. When I see the way you act, wondering when I'm coming back. I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love like you. Love like you. I always thought I might be bad. Now I'm sure that it's true, 'cause I think you're so good, and I'm nothing like you. Look at you go, I just adore you. I wish that I knew what makes you think I'm so special.
Jaxay.
Okay, this is going to be a no for me, and it's going to be... Is a 3 a no? I think 3's a no, so I'm going to go with that. Too many issues here in this one. There are some notes in here that I like. Some of the higher notes are just fluttery and feathery and lovely and really hit the spot. But then some of the really top of the range notes, I was kind of eyebrows raising, like it's nails on a chalkboard kind of shrill. There is definitely some issues with timing as well, kind of tripping over some of the parts. Song choice may be a little questionable as well. A lot of time in the lower register when maybe somewhere sort of mid to high would have been a better fit. A little more of that in there. I think there are too many issues for this for Jexy to be able to get this together for the next round. So it's a fairly comfortable no for me.
Jaxay.
I'm
Love
seeing
Like
a lot
You
of good songs.
depresses me. Okay, so like,
Yeah.
I love Like You. It is my favorite Steven Universe song of all time, bar none.
Yeah, I knew
The
it was
problem-
from Steven Universe.
Yeah, no, the problem is this song is very special to a lot of people just because of how powerful the lyrics are, and also just because of how belty and floaty the entire thing feels. It's a fantastic song, but it's overplayed to hell. And it's very annoying, at least in auditions, because
I think
it has a decent amount. Oh, sorry, you want to
No.
talk instead?
No, you're good. I thought you were done.
I don't know it. You probably don't want it in there. I probably want it into... You know what? That's going to get a copyright strike or something. I'd better not.
Oh, this is featuring? Okay,
Yeah, because you have already started talking about it, so...
Yeah, like, the dynamics of this song are very showing of, like, your range and whatnot. So you can show off a lot of different things with this one song. So when you sing it, you gotta sing it nice. And this, unfortunately, just was not it. So... Can I go first, or Angelina? Do you want to go now?
You have already started.
Wait, can I give the other stuff about what I was gonna add on to what you said?
For sure.
Like the song. This song is kind of similar to like "Fly Me to the Moon" type of thing. Like it's like I feel like the song itself does not give you a ton to work with. You have to have that voice to sing it well, and if you don't have that voice, then it's just gonna sound bland. It's gonna be like.
For this performance specifically, you sound like you were running the entire time you were singing, bro. Why you just out of breath the entire thing? The second Like You, when you first started, was off key. You went down entirely too far in the octave, girl. But, you know, especially for the I Wish That I Knew part, I know for a fact I don't have the range for that bit. So you could have taken artistic liberty and, like, pitched it down like, hold on. I wish that I might be bad. Now I'm sure that it's true. Okay, yeah. I wish that I knew. You could have done something like that where you pitched it down and then you kind of just flatten it out. And then you could have saved yourself from trying to reach up there for those notes. Obviously, you want to in the performance if you have that range. But if you don't, it is okay to just take a little bit of a liberty and trying to change it up because it wouldn't really take away from the song. But still, you kind of strained on a bunch of the notes. Your voice was just kind of dying out at random parts of the song for some reason. Like you were just out of breath and then your voice kind of gave out. The I Always Thought bit that you sang was a little bit funky because you tried to bring emotion to it by like changing your inflections a little bit, but it just didn't sound correct. Overall, when you're singing this song, you have to not only bring emotion to it for it to sound nice, but you gotta just have the voice for it, you know? I think you have some potential, but just this is a 4 and a no for me.
Yeah, I actually agree
Can I
with
go
both
next?
of you. Oh, you weren't. Oh, okay, go. You know, go
I
ahead.
never gave my feedback. I just talked about this song. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh god, there's actually stuff in my throat. Okay.
I thought you just did
for
that
me-
for effect.
No, okay. For me, I agree with like the breath stuff. I thought your support was very shaky. Your head, like the head voice notes were not supported. I actually do disagree with what John said about range. I don't think the reason you hit those notes poorly was because you didn't have the range. I think it's because you didn't support it properly, and that's why it sounded strained. And I think also because of the breath support lacking, you were also pitchy. I gave you a soft yes. I was like on the like border of like choosing a no. I said your emotion was good, and the only reason I gave you a soft yes was because like during the more powerful parts, I heard some potential, and I was like, okay. I was like, I hear something in the chorus. So that's why I gave you a 4.5 and a soft yes.
Okay, so I agree with both of you. You showed potential to have dynamic control and potentially good vocal tonality. But I think rather than this, I think it's song choice issue. Your current skills, especially breath support, doesn't really match what the song demands out of you. And some parts were sung a little bit too straight. You need the emotion for this kind of song. And the voice as well. So this had no flavor at all. So that's why I give it a 4 and a no.
I'm erasing myself from the narrative. Let future historians wonder how Eliza reacted when you broke her heart. You have torn it all apart. I'm watching it burn. Watching it burn. The world has no right to my heart. The world has no place in our bed. They don't get to know what I said. I'm burning the memories, burning the letters that might have redeemed you. You forfeit all rights in my heart. You forfeit the place in our bed. You'll sleep in your office instead with only the memories of when you were mine.
No.
Okay, that's going to be a no, and let's go in with a 2. There were a couple of moments in there where it felt like he at least had the energy, but generally that was about all. Definitely doesn't fit in the typical range for this song. Angelina, actually, in the last season, I judged, did a version of this, but the first burn version, which is basically all of the people that played, I always get mixed up. I think it was everyone that's played Eliza on the Broadway stage combined, so it's kind of a blend of voices, and Angelina kind of went at it with a blend of different styles, and I felt like the other judges didn't necessarily pick up on that, but I really enjoyed that entry. So I'm not surprised that she's got some comments to make on this one. That was very much in the late stages of a competition, not the first round. But yeah, it doesn't fit. It was more talking than singing. The sustained part at the end was well wide of the mark. And I feel like it might have been a serious entry, but at points it had the emphasis being put on it made it seem like maybe it wasn't, so it's hard to tell. But a fairly comfortable no. I think we can move on quickly.
Bro, no! Why?
You go first, Angelina. Please enlighten us on how absolutely ass this was.
From Hamilton! She's literally, oh my god. Philippa Sue sings this song and it's so emotional. It's so delicate in the beginning and then it builds and it's so powerful. Oh my goodness, this was not.
It's
That's actually my
exceptional.
reaction too.
The
You were
original's exceptional.
nasally. Your emotion was lacking. This song is not within your range. This requires you to belt. It requires you to be able to resonate on those high notes and be able to belt them. And you did not belt them. Your phrasing is like strange, and you have no powerful notes, which is like, it's like that's so much of the song. And I thought you lacked dynamics, so I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, for me, there was like this weird, I don't know what to call it. It was like a drawl or something in their voice, and it just, no. Reverb was there a little bit, so that was just kind of annoying. Enunciation was not great. Transitions were mid. Why did it sound like you were gargling mud the entire time you were singing that song? It just never sounded correct, bro. It just sounded like there was something constantly there that you're trying to get out, but you're never getting it out. So, oh god. You were also very nasally, like Angelina said. You feel really flat. And your pitch is wavering. And I think the most egregious thing, you tried to add little bits of emotion by inflecting your voice, which is a very prominent voice acting trick that you can do. However, you were too flat in the song for it to even matter in the slightest. So instead of it sounding like you're actually, projecting and then like changing your vocal inflection to convey an emotion, it just sounded like, okay, so I'm gonna go sharp in a flat note for whatever reason. Like, why? Stop it. We don't
Calm
need
down,
you.
calm
Retire.
down.
We don't need you.
Dang!
Vocalized quack. I don't know why I like saying it like that.
It should have been called vocalized hack for real, bro. This shit was trash.
Oh no! I don't even have anything positive to say about this. So I think I'm a little too nice with the 4. Should I drop
Keep
it?
the 4. No, just
I
keep
dropped
the
it
4.
from a
Okay.
4.
Just
Okay,
keep the
so-
4. Stick to your guns.
Okay. That's okay. So something about your tone sounds a bit unpleasant. Maybe the vowels were too wide, and you lean too much to nasality. And nasality is not wrong on its own, but if you lean too much into it and you have too wide of vowels, that's when things go wrong. And this was sung very straight. Parts were on the verge of straining. Basing on my notes, I think I give you too nice of a score. You know what? I'll keep it at 4 and a no.
This reminds me of when, for like my first season, I sang First Burn. Like, I didn't know the actual like original Burn, and then I remember one of the judges said like, "Why didn't you just sing Burn?" And I was like, "I didn't know the song." Yeah.
Was that Andrea?
I don't think I would have done it justice. I think so.
Yeah, it was Andrea.
Yeah, she's the musical theater queen.
Hi, my name's Chris Verrett. I'm a voice actor who loves to sing. I made it past the auditions last season, but didn't go further, which I attribute to myself not really having a plan past that point. I thought the winner of last season was awesome, and I figured a bit of Jack Black pizzazz would be great to start the season off with. So, here comes Lava Chicken, sung by Jack Black from the Minecraft movie. You hear that? That's the sound of sizzling. Mm-hmm. Smell that smell. Lava, chicken. Steve's lava chicken, yeah, it's tasty as hell. Ooh, mamacita, now you're ringing the bell. Crispy and juicy, now you're having a snack. Ooh, super spicy, it's a lava attack.
Get ready.
Okay. That is such a short audition. It can only be a soft yes, which is going to be... Let's go softer. Let's go even softer. Let's go 3.5. Let's put that right on the edge. So, super short audition. When you've only got a minute anyway, impossible to really show all that much. The comments about not really having a plan past this round... This feels a little bit like doesn't have a plan past this round part 2. And it's a shame because there is clearly something there. So the guy has energy. He's got, I know it sounds odd when you're sitting behind a desk and a microphone and there's no video, but stage presence. There's clearly some kind of presence there that the guy can perform and can entertain and can deliver something. That's a plus. He's got a little bit of a rock voice in there. He has... His voice is a little put on. I think trying to keep up with the original, and maybe if he took a little bit of that out of it and just let his own voice shine through, then it wouldn't sound quite so stifled, because that's a stylistic choice rather than a technical one. He has some range, maybe not as high as he necessarily went for in this. The guy has some potential, but I worry if he's going to take it seriously enough. So this is a comment that I've made in the past, and I feel like it applies here, and it's a good one to explain just really quickly. I feel like there are certain people that come through this competition that have potential and have voices and have talent, but just don't know how to use it. Whether it be an issue with choosing the wrong song, or whether it be making stylistic choices that just don't fit. It's like they don't understand what they have, so they then can't make the song choices and make the stylistic choices and make the mixing choices and everything along the line to then take what they've got and then make that shine and show it in the best possible way. And the unfortunate thing with that is you will have people who are not necessarily as talented singers. They might be pigeonholed, or they might have weaknesses, or they might have one thing they do very well and the other things not so much. But if they find a way to be able to show themselves in the very best light, they have got way more potential in the competition, because they can, to a point, if you're singing a foreign language round, for example, and you don't know any other languages, well, you can kind of, I guess if you can convey emotion and you can perform, you can still find a way to deliver the same energy, even if you don't understand the lyrics you're singing, for example. Or if you, Hooney's a great example. He is very much a K-pop voice, but he was able to use his voice in a way that showed versatility, and he mixed in a way that worked very well, so he could show, different aspects of his voice and really bring those things across. He's incredibly talented as well. He doesn't necessarily need those things, but he probably wouldn't have got as far in the competition if he just did K-pop stuff and didn't really show anything else. And I think this is another one of those problems. Let's see what the judges think on it, though, because they've got very little to work with.
1,
Lava.
2, 3.
No.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, wait, actually, I actually gave.
Guys.
Wait, my score was actually really high.
Guys, I actually specifically asked him to audition because he was one of my favorites back in 2021, I think.
Come on. Okay, we got it. All right. Who wants to go first?
What's
you know what?
this?
Let's let Hooli go first. Since he, let's let Hooli go first. Fuck up, my boy.
This is so low compared to ours.
I think you hear this? It's the sound of fury. Smell that smell.
But I guess I was kind of disappointed in his audition this year because it was too short, and that's
short.
About the only thing I remember about it, to be honest.
Yeah,
I probably should have given it a lower score. But...
So
all right,
the thing is, let me start it this way. So like,
I'm gonna change it to 5.
So the entry is like 54 seconds long, right? And half of it is introduction. So that's leaving us to like 29 seconds long. And you know what? Half of those 29 seconds is talking.
Yep.
Which is like,
fair.
Why?
Because that's the build up to the song in the movie.
Yeah, you hear this?
You hear that? It's the sound of sizzling.
It's the sound of my fury.
I can't do that.
It's the sound of my fury.
Okay, I can understand your point now, Hoonim. But I still think a 1 was a little bit too harsh.
I think a 1 was a little too harsh.
Harsh. I mean, all right, you go.
I don't have anything to base it on. Like, we only got like 10 seconds of singing.
Actually,
it's
20.
The 10 seconds in the song.
Actually, it's 20.
But were those 20 seconds good, though?
I thought it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, I get the point. It's 20 seconds of mid.
So, who wants to go next? Because I have thoughts.
Me!
You go.
Okay, you said in your audition you wanted to be like Mina and bring that Jack Black energy, right? You did not really bring that Jack Black. You brought Jack White, bro. I don't even... Okay.
No, Jack White is too nice. It's like Jack Gray. It's like whatever.
He's
Your
middle of the
rhythm was
road.
just your rhythm
Yeah,
was
it's
way
like
too
great.
slow. The rhythm was too slow. Like in the original, it's like upbeat. It's like a, and then this one was like la 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 lava, and I was like,
Bro gave
I
us
was
a
like, why
slowed
is
and
this-
reverb version
I was
with
like,
no
why
reverb.
is it so slow? I mean, I thought your voice was nice. That's why like I gave you a 5 and a yes. But you were pitchy on the last part, and your energy was not like what Jack Black brings to the table. And especially at the very end, like where it goes lava attack, it was not belty enough. You were like floating it, and it was also off pitch. And you just only sang for 20 seconds, so like
That's the reason why I give a 1. That's the reason why I give.
Still,
You know
I
what?
still think it's harsh.
I'm gonna add a little bit. So like for everyone, the intro doesn't count for the 1 limit. 1 minute
Yeah.
time limit. Sorry. And plan more
That's good.
carefully, because if this was planned, I'm sorry.
By the way,
If this was the
correction.
plan, I'm sorry.
Correction. He's from last season, not 2021. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah.
I guess I still have the
okay.
2021 season on my brain because Huni's here.
So like, to be honest, I'm kind of tired of hearing this song. I heard it all over my feed for months when the movie released, so that did contribute a little bit to my points, but not entirely. So your voice isn't bad, I'll give you that. It's actually a nice voice. The problem is the lava attack bit was just not hitting the same, bro. I'm sorry. Just the snack bit as well was just off key, and overall, you're not bringing the energy that Jack Black said, like Angelina. Like, bro, Jack Black is hype as hell. That man was singing it with all the passion in the world, even though it was the dumbest song to ever exist, and yet he still got everybody to sing it religiously. I think what you should have done, and I think would have made this funnier, is if you did like a classical rendition of the song as a joke on the joke. So that at least then not only we can see like, okay, he has singing ability, but also he got a little bit of a sense of humor, which would have probably got me more points. I feel like with how slow you're singing it, you could have put in a snap. I wish you could have put in like trumpets and everything, but we can't really do that since it's casting. But if you do something like this next time with a meme song and you just remix it, make it funny. Make the funny even funnier. That's all I'm gonna say. If you did like a classical rendition of this where you like snap your fingers and you have like a jazz type voice, bro, that shit would have been funny. I think I would have given you more, but it's a 5 and a yes.
I'm giving a 1, and I'm not fighting for you guys to like say a no, because I actually agree with lots of things that you said, but like, please plan more carefully next time since you're through. Please, then thank you.
Yes, don't get
need to put my
eliminated
nose
in
real
round 2 again, please.
My plight is quite familiar to those who tread the boards at the Netherlander, Schubert, or Rialto. And though I've got a great high C, the reaction seems to be... Oh, well that was great, hon. But we need you singing alto. Please. Give me a shot at the melody. Give me a crack at the tune. I'm filled with chagrin every time I begin by the light of the silvery moon. Just one little shot at the melody. Give me a moment to shine. I'm sick of can't help loving that man of mine. Just take Oklahoma, for example, that rousing title number of the show. Well, everyone is singing Oklahoma. I get sky yo ho.
Ooh,
There we
I
go.
actually have roasts for this one.
Ooh, okay. Where do I go with this one? Yes. 3.5 again. Okay, so that I'm guessing, I don't know the song, but I'm guessing the Great High C is supposed to be a high C, and that felt a little bit on the flat side. Some of the lower parts definitely fall on the side of flat, and they get a little nasal. There are elements in this that are good, that I enjoy, especially in the sort of mid-range area. There is definitely some, there's something there, there's some sustain and there's some power. but it feels a little overperformed. Dialing that back a little bit and being more note perfect is probably a better way to go for a competition like this. If it feels a little overperformed, then it feels a little forced as well. As far as the energy goes, there's not as much dynamic as we would have liked. I think I'm going to let this one roll because there's roasts coming, apparently.
Oh, Angelina being mean. Oh, I'm
Roasted
so proud. She's
beans.
gross.
Go ahead, be my
Okay.
guest.
I'm gonna start off with the nicer stuff, because why not? I said you have nice voice, you have a nice voice, you have nice resonance and nice energy, but I don't think that you were ready for this song, because you sang the part where it's like, okay, I can't hit it right now, it's in the morning. Okay, don't clip that. But you go like,
That's glitter repeated, right?
high C. You go like high C, and you did not have the high C. Like the lyric says like what? Like, I've got a great high C.
It wasn't.
That was not a great high C. That was
It was an
more
okay
like a
high
B
C.
flat. That was more like a
It was an
B
okay
flat.
I see.
Damn, almost got it.
And also on the word moon, you don't dip down enough on the lower notes, so it sounds like you're like really struggling to hit those. And your very last high note, like before, like it's like around the second last line, you strain on that high note as well. So those are my deductions, and I gave you a 6 and a yes.
Mine's basically the same thing. I literally said the lower notes felt a bit flat, but I also could be tripping, so correct me if I'm wrong. I was kind of just enjoying the energy that you gave me throughout the entire performance, which is probably why I gave you the 7 and the yes. The energy was probably what carried it. You have some good control, good pitch, all of that good shit, but it was just good.
I was expecting from your name, since you had vibrato in your name, this doesn't have any, which is sad. I'm sad. I'm disappointed. So for the positives, you have potentially good vocal tone and dynamic control and good audio quality. And I think, I have a big note. I think this is an example of why I would avoid doing a musical in this competition, because this leaned too much into the voice acting, which we don't put a score on. So I don't deduct, I don't add. So like, what am I gonna do with that? So it was sung very straight, and it was not as dynamic as I would hope. And I don't know what happened at the end there, so polish up some more and avoid leaning too much into voice acting if you really have to do musicals. Because we are not trying to cast you for a theater production, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Hey guys, there's so many more musical theater songs. There's like
because
no
everybody
one
needs
else
one.
From the Great Comet. We have like so many more musical, like not so talky songs, and you guys are choosing these like super talky.
Yeah, don't choose the talky musicals.
I think it's just because
There's a lot more.
it's easier to do for the most part, since you can just take a break
maybe it's
and
because
just
it's
talk.
more fun. I don't even know.
And that shouldn't be.
I mean,
that,
even if it's fun,
that shouldn't be the reason why you chose that song, because it's easy.
Mm-mm.
Hi, my name is Clarel, and I am auditioning for the next Top Singer Season 11 with the song Set Fire to the Rain by Adele. Sometimes I wake up by the door. That heart you call must be waiting for you. Even now when we're already over, I can't help myself from looking for you. I set fire to the rain, and afterwards into the flames. When it felt something died, 'cause I knew that was the last time. The last time. Oh no. Let it burn. Let it burn.
Claire.
Okay, let's go for a yes and a 5.5. So, bit of a stronger one to finish off. So this clearly has some issues with it. At times, the runs are so completely removed. It's like when 2/3 of the entry, it doesn't necessarily feel or remind me of the song in question. that can be a great thing if it's well executed. More often than not, it's not well executed, and at times I wouldn't know she's just vocal riffing on something and isn't actually trying to deliver a cover. There are times when it feels like the phrases blur into each other a little too much. Would like to hear a little more enunciation in there. And but yeah, let me see what the judges think on this one, and then I'll go back. This is one of those where I'd want to listen to it a few times to make my notes. Ready?
Okay.
Clarel. God. Okay, who put that combination of names, bro? They saw Belle from the Ball, and Claire was like, "Hold on, I need to have both," and then they just decided.
Clarel.
Yeah, all right.
At least it's like special.
The highest score goes first.
Oh, John.
John.
Look, I don't care what y'all say. My girl was cooking. All right. No gas needed. She already knew her shit was heat, bro. Damn. I will admit she went a little too sharp on some notes. Her first Let It Burn when she was going down was a little bit off. But otherwise, good belt, nice voice, very strong as well. The last part, that shit was tough. Elegant, bro. And then you also had the emotional value in there, but hey, man. This Mago. Well, no, actually, you're not reached goated status yet. You're not reached this yet. You're getting on. We might put you on the sub for the All-Star team, but right now, you get in there.
I think I'm a little too mean on the score. Wait, let me reset. There we go.
I don't remember this audition, but I remember that I liked it. So
Yeah, I like it as well. It's just not to the point where what John said.
Should I? Wait, am I going next? Are we doing condescending? Okay.
Yeah.
Condescending.
Okay, Clarel. I thought you had a nice voice, nice energy in the beginning, but I did think that it was a little bit nasally at certain areas, and I wish the chorus was more exciting and energetic. I feel like you could have, went for it a little more. And also, I wrote that your first riff was a bit slow, but I thought it was pretty good overall, so I give you a 7 and a yes.
You showed potential for good vocal tone, 1, and then power, and then vibrato, and riffs and runs. You showed potential for those things, but they're not to the point where they're good yet right now. So, and there were major audio quality issues with persistent background noise, and that's why I give you a 7 and a yes. You had showed potential. And
number 178 rail.
Let's give this a 0. Just kidding.
Oh my god!
Just imagine.
Just imagine the last one is a 0.
Are you guys ready for the top performance deliberation?
Performance.
That is the end of the auditions. But don't miss the upcoming top performance deliberation. There are 110 accepted contestants, and only 30 of them will make it through to round 3. So do your best, have faith in yourself, and most of all, have fun. Good luck, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so a couple of things just to wrap up. I'm going to go back to this one and just sort of step through and pick up on a few things as we go, because I kind of struggled to come up with any notes first time around, which does happen. So let's see.
For the next top singer, season 11, with the song Set Fire to the Rain by Adele. Sometimes I wake up by the door. That heart you call must be waiting for you.
So that part was wasn't all that clear what she's trying to say. So allowing a little more space in there, and I don't even know. So this is where my lack of technique or technical knowledge comes into it a
Song
bit.
Set Fire to the Rain by Adele. Sometimes I wake up by the door. That heart you call must be waiting for you. Even now when we're already over, I can't help myself, I'm looking for you. I set fire to the rain, and afterwards into the flames. When it fell, something died, 'cause I knew that was the last time. The last time. Oh, oh no.
fair.
Interesting. I like it. I'm struggling with that one. I'd have to go back. No, sometimes you have to listen to them once or twice, 2 or 3 times to get some notes. Sometimes it takes a whole lot of listens to really get to the bottom of everything. And that's one of those. There is a lot going on with it, and it's trying to pick it apart a little bit is always a bit of a challenge. What we're going to do just to finish off is it's only a 5-minute clip, just for continuity purposes since we're on it. So my top performance was, there was a 7.5, which was for Bliss down here. So I'll gold that because I've only got one top performance. And then let's see who the judges decide to go with. And then this will be us wrapped up with a casting round all in one swoop.
You know what, Angelina? I'm glad we agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in between. What? 20?
Yeah. I like him, bro. Y'all can fight me. Y'all can fight me. Oh.
Which one is
Y'all
that
can
again?
fight me.
I don't even remember
Best
who he
of
is.
you.
That's how much I did.
That's the one that I don't know.
That was the one in
That's the one that I
episode
don't
2
know.
with a lot of reverb. It was good, but it wasn't a 10.
To you, and that's your personal opinion, and that's okay because even though it's wrong, we still respect it.
And none of you chose my actual top performances.
What was it, Cameron?
Yeah.
Yes, Cameron who sang Ruthlessness.
That would not.
Or Drew or Caden, aka Frostbite.
Okay. Pattern emerging. Mentioned it in a few of the other episodes. Mention it again. They're all the guys that have got rock voices. So no wonder Petra's a huge fan.
I don't know which one of them I would have chosen actually, but I think I would have chosen Cameron because I really like the Plankton voice. And also Frostbite had bad audio quality. Otherwise it might have been him, I think. Anyway, sorry.
Like, oh my goodness! I'm sorry. For me, it was like between Kalos. I liked Labis. I was kind of just like, what I did was I looked at the top scores I gave personally, and I picked from those.
I know Labis's entry, and I think the reason why I wouldn't choose her entry personally because some parts, the higher belts, kind of lean a little bit too much to like screaming.
Yeah,
and
I know.
I think that's actually a problem.
That's fair.
That's actually a problem from the last season as well.
Yeah, I didn't choose her because of that, and also I felt like Kalos put in a lot more, like it's a lot more.
I mean, Kalos has the highest score, so it makes sense from a number standpoint. So
that's why I said like I chose Kalos objectively because the score is like the highest out of everything.
Bro, based it off of points alone.
No, not only the scores. His only feedback is like long-term feedback, which is his high note being a little bit squeezed.
that's fair though.
And he's not even held back with like bad decisions because none of the things that he did was like actually bad or anything. It's just that for it to be better, he needs to do that kind of feedback.
I can't believe I didn't give a score over 8.5.
And
at least you don't.
Just a spoiler alert, I probably would not have given a single 10 this round. So.
Oh. I mean,
so
I
think you guys were way too generous with the 10s. It's like
bro,
it means
John.
nothing anymore.
That's
Yeah,
John.
come on.
That was John and Star.
Yeah, me and Hooney, we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah,
We're like-
I almost not give a 10 actually to Carlos because of the thing that I said. I almost gave a 9.5, but like looking at the everything that I know, nothing really come close enough for me. So that's why I just like boosted up by 0.5, and that's where my 10 comes from.
Actually,
I think I
Cameron
probably
might
should've-
have gotten a 10 from me, just maybe. I mean, I haven't heard it that much, so I don't know, but.
I didn't. I really.
Oh, this one. Yeah, no, that's not a 10.
Yeah, that's my reaction. Same.
I agree with Star's score. I would give it a 7.
Nah, I give it what I give it.
So we've decided, right, Hooney?
Yeah, I'm with Carlos.
Yeah, where's your little gold then?
All right, we have a majority. So unless John wants to argue about his, then
yeah. What's your argument for Carlos not being top performance?
I never said he was bad. It's not that he doesn't have anything to give or nothing. I just like that performance more. That's literally it. Carlos is
Then why-
talented. He knows what he's doing. But I just
Then why
like
did
that
you give it a
performance more
10?
because of what it gives. Because I like it.
Then
Oh, I gave
you
Carlos's a 10, and I gave Yuan a 10, because I think both of them have the talent for it, and both of them deserved it. Okay? That's me.
So are you fighting against Carlos or like you're joining us?
I'm not gonna join you because I have a personal preference over one thing, so that's it. I'm not gonna argue against it because he genuinely does deserve this. I'm not gonna say, oh, he needs, like, Yuan needs to get this, you know, but I think he still was my favorite performance of the entire thing.
By the way, last
Okay, then-
season he came so close to top performance for round 1, and this time he got it. So, congratulations,
Yay!
Kalos!
Congratulations, Carlos. That was the
Yay!
easiest top performance.
Wait, who got top performance last time?
It was Brandon,
Brandon.
and Kalos was number 2
Yeah,
in
Brandon.
round 1.
Congratulations, Kalos, for winning top performance. With a score of 28.5 out of 30, you are the one to beat at the moment. Your reward is an extra day to submit your next entry. But don't forget that anything can happen in round 2. Best of luck, everybody.
Okay, so I did wonder a little bit about the top performance thing and what the point of it was. I remember that now, the extra day to get your entry in, which is sometimes a benefit, depends on your schedules and how quickly they try and get through things. With the gaps and the delay in this episode coming out, and I think this one came out, and then within a day there are 2 entries for the next round, and there's a whole, I guess you call it breaking the fourth wall a little bit, with people being informed that they are through well after or well before the entries come out and that sort of thing. And I guess from a contestant standpoint, that maybe feels a little bit disjointed, and you know, sometimes you have to go from your noted feedback and the like. Next Top Singer is a slog. There are some seasons that have been worse than others due to formats and putting extra rounds in and that sort of thing. But Next Top Singer is a slog. There's a couple of times when I've been involved in it, and it has taken from when you start the process and you start listening to entries and you start judging up to the end, it's taken a year. And I know these things are unavoidable. It's a passion project. And there's not that much in the way of it. Like, there's a couple of $100 on the end as a prize, but it's essentially a passion project, and there isn't much in the way of help from editing and the like. But it also means that this takes quite a long time. It's a big time commitment. And by that token, I can understand why some people get all the way through to the final and finish second or third, and they've had some issues with it, and tried to make that more than it is, I guess. But it's tough. And I know I've personally been quite involved and vocal about certain things. But again, when you are involved in something for the best part of a year, you do get invested in it. You have no choice. So this is going to be quite a long process for us. I imagine I will end up moving out of my current place and moving into my new place, all while we're doing these reactions. But it's one of those things. Probably once this move happens, I can do a bit more with this channel and not just react to one singing competition that I used to be involved in, but we shall see. And that's it for the casting round, though. That's a big bow wrapped around it and job done. So we have got 60-odd contestants that we need to whittle down into a final 30 in the next round. That's going to be pretty crazy. We're going to go and do things a little bit differently. There may be copyright type issues, so I might have to do this. I might have to mute the mic and listen to things quickly, but it'd be nice to bring you along for the experience. I'm going to listen to some of the originals if I don't know them to give myself some context. I'm going to listen to the entries a couple of times, and I will live walk you through the process that I would go through of judging. They're 20-minute episodes, so we will probably do 2 at a time, which means 3 episodes from me to cover all 6 episodes of the entries. But we'll see. It's a bit of a work in progress. We'll tweak the format as we go. But this has been fun. I'm enjoying this, and it'll be fun to show you behind the curtain of my process a little bit more, as someone that's judged for, I think, 4, maybe 5 seasons of this. So yeah, we'll see. Thank you very much for watching anyway. If you're on Twitch or on YouTube, throw me a follow or a subscribe respectively. And there's been 1 or 2 comments. Let's have a few more comments, a bit more backwards and forwards from you guys. Who have you liked, who have you not liked, who have you disagreed with me on, etc. And I will keep these episodes going as close after the release dates as I can for you. Thank you very much.